Everyone, I'm doing a quick video on navigating the Evolve home screen and doing a treatment plan review. So prior to the date that Carrie sent out all of your logins and passwords, we kind of rushed to implement all of your treatment plans into the Evolve system. The reason for that is because your treatment plan needed to have been in there for each of your clients in order for the goals to link into the progress note. So we sort of did a very quick, bare bones copy and paste of the treatment plan that we had from the client's file. And now I'm going to show you how to review that. So for any future treatment plan or authorization that is coming up, you guys need to be reviewing their treatment plans, scheduling a time to meet with the family, have the family sign at that session, and then this treatment plan needs to be submitted to Carrie and myself 10 days before the authorization end date. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. And here we have the Evolve home screen. So the tab that you need to make yourself the absolute most familiar with is this client tab. If you click My Evolve, you're not going to have access to that form because that's for the supervisors who are signing off on the notes and the treatment plans and all of that. This taskbar, you also don't need to familiarize yourself with this at all either. Client is the only tab up at the top that you need to be worrying about. The client information tab and the case management tab. So you may be wondering, well, how do I search for my first client? You can go client, case management, and then you just need to either click whether you're going to do a case note or work on a treatment plan. So for today, I'm going to click plan. And then for the purposes of this, I am going to use the BHRS training client that I created. So here we have this BHRS treatment plan initial. What I'm going to do is review this plan. I'm going to show you how to do that. So what you guys will all see in your clients is this exact picture. You're going to click Actions, BHRS Treatment Plan Review down here. And then this is a little bit confusing and it may look misleading. You're going to say like, okay, well, what's this? You're going to see all of these goals, interventions, objectives, and you're going to click the Save OK button up here. That is going to bring you into the new treatment plan. And here we have the treatment plan that you guys saw on the PowerPoint. And for those of you that came into the in-person training back in May, this is some of the treatment plan that you saw. So this form needs to be completed in its entirety. This date right here is going to be the date that you're putting the treatment plan into Evolve, especially if you're going to be billing for this. That date needs to match the date on the encounter form. So this authorization plan date is going to be the first day of this next authorization. Wendy mails out the plan of care summaries to each and every one of you, which have in the top right-hand corner the authorization dates. So say that you have a client who had services from November 15th to May 12th, this date would be May 13th. And then you need to calculate 180 days from May 13th. I have a way of doing that Carrie and myself use. It's a simple website. It's called Date Calculator, which I will email out with this video. So you're going to calculate 180 days. Even though we say 6-month authorization, it's not in fact an equal 6 months. It's 180 days. It usually differs by like between 2 and 4 days, depending on where you are in the year. So this is going to be automatically filled out with your name, and then you're going to submit to approval to the coordinator on the case. This demographic information is already going to be pre-filled depending on whether or not Carrie and I copied that into their initial treatment plan review. You may need to go back into your Word document and additionally copy certain aspects. Since this is a fake client, BHRS training, I didn't actually fill out any of this, but for the majority of your clients, this section will be pre-filled. You just have to go back and edit it, and it is all editable. You can go through and make changes as you see fit. Maybe your client joined the Boys and Girls Club within the last 6 months. You're going to want to add that here. And then you don't click anything here with the treatment plan. That's a little bit misleading as well. You're going to just go straight down to goal number 1. And this is something that I want to mention because this is confusing. When you are first initially going to edit your treatment plan goal, you're going to notice that this is grayed out. So the reason for that is because this status section down at the bottom of the goal tab needs to be filled out in order to allow for the goal to be editable. I don't even know if that's a word. Anyway, you need to decide the status of that goal. So let me go back to this. And here we have goal. Client will follow parental directives and obey household rules and routines. So this goal here, you have to determine the status of that. If there has been 0 change within the last 6 months, that's fine. You would click status, continued, no change in rating. So once I click that, I'm going to need to write a little blurb, a few sentences about what this goal, what has happened within the last 6 months that is pertaining to obeying parental directives. And now you will notice that this is now completely editable. If there's no change, you technically don't need to edit this goal or the baseline or the current, but we're hoping, obviously 6 months is a bit of a long time, that there has been some level of change pertaining to each goal. So there's other options. There is, let's say that continued, a decrease in rating. So a decrease in rating means that the behavior has maybe become a little bit more mild. It's not as severe. So you may choose that, explain, maybe he joined a club and he is now has an older mentor who's working with him on respect and managing parental expectations better. So you may write a little bit of a blurb in this paragraph here. So then up here, if there's been a decreased change in rating, then you maybe want to alter this goal a little bit. And then you certainly want to alter the baseline current frequency, intensity, and duration. Just as you do now with your Word document, as you go through the treatment plan, it's the exact same thing. You're going to change your target, definition, replacement, and discharge criteria. So that's the goal tab. Now for the objective tab and the intervention tab, you're going to just edit that as you see fit. And then the second goal, same thing. You're going to notice that this is grayed out. You are going to want to change the status. Maybe it has been an increase in rating. So we're going to continue the goal, but an increase in rating. If you're continuing the goal, then the goal can stay the same. You don't have to edit it, but you maybe need to describe specifics about how there has been an increase with your data. One thing I want to mention, which since there has been an overloaded amount of help desk tickets, I'm going to step back from addressing this because it's such a small concern. But for whatever reason right now, this goal number didn't recognize that it is the second goal. So if you notice right now, I'm in this first goal right here, and this is goal number 1. Even though I'm able to edit this because I changed the status, this is still grayed out. Goal number 2 is goal number 1. So it doesn't recognize every single time that you add a goal that it is the second, third, fourth goal. That's not a huge deal. This totally doesn't matter. Down the road, I may help desk and see if Joe, our IT guy, can make changes to that, but for now, just ignore it. So you're going to go through and make your changes as you see fit. You can save this at any time. I'm going to save it right now. It's going. Okay, so I didn't fill out this top part. So I will just do that right now and show you how you can save it. But the completed information does need to be filled out. Let's say it's January 8th, 10:10. You also need to fill out the times. And now I can save this. So you'll see here it's modifiable. you can go back and edit this as many times as you need to. What I want you guys to be doing is to spend time, maybe a good few weeks, maybe even a month before you know that your child's authorization date is ending, and you'll start to review the treatment plan. Once you have most of the goals and the objectives the way that you think that the family will agree upon, you will need to be scheduling a treatment plan review session. This means that you'll need to be planning with the family. Even if you're a behavior specialist that typically only sees the child in the school twice a year, and really more than that, you should be engaging with the family, but especially twice a year, you should be scheduling a treatment plan session to have this completed and signed. We will no longer be allowing treatment plans to be signed at the evaluation unless the treatment plan is completed in its entirety. If you come to the evaluation with your device, with the completed treatment plan, then we can show the family that at the evaluation. I'd encourage you to go through that with them, maybe before or after the evaluation, and then have them sign it. So this is how you're going to go through and sign. So the parent is going to click to capture signature and say, my name is Bob. I'm using my mouse, so it's not going to look great. That's totally fine. You can click, let's just do test. You can click save, and then you would write Bob, test, and then the date that they sign. This doesn't look awesome, which is fine, but this is for a second name, second guardian or parent, and then the same thing here. And then the client goes across, and then the behavior specialist is a little bit squished in here. Mobile therapist goes across, coordinator squishes in here. TSS goes across, school reps squishes in here. Other goes across, and then another other down here. I hope that this makes sense. So we will be needing a completed, submitted, signed treatment plan in Evolve 10 days before the authorization end date. So once again, I want to remind you to ignore this tab. It's a system thing. Joe says that it has to be there. And then we have our preview option. We are not linking the crisis plan into the treatment plan. I know that was talked about back in May. For now, your crisis plan is just going to remain one running document. It's always going to be modifiable. It's never submitted and signed off by a coordinator. You can always go in and make changes to that. I can always access it and print it for the packet that we submit to Magellan. So that's the treatment plan, and that's how you review it. I'm going to click save. And then you will see that it's all completed. I can get out of it, and it's modifiable here. So that's the treatment plan. This went on a little bit longer than I wanted, so I am going to stop my sharing and continue just to encourage you to, if you're doing this, if you want to do it for the first time in the office with Carrie and myself, that's totally fine. I'm encouraging you guys to do that. But any future evaluation that is scheduled and coming up, we are not accepting paper treatment plans for. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to send this video out to each and every one of you with the link of how to calculate 180 days for your authorization dates. Okay, thank you guys.